Alright, so today I'm gonna share the 3 biggest mistakes I believe I've made in terms of triathlon nutrition since I started doing triathlon.
Let's go!
So we know nutrition is a big thing when you're doing triathlon because we're training several times a day, we're spending lots of energy that other people are not spending. We're told that we need to take care of whatever energy we're spending and just replace it with external energy that we consume primarily as food. When I started running like 7 or 8 years ago, I went to a nutritionist in order to just try and balance the energy levels that I would need just to run. And then when I transitioned to triathlon, I took it more seriously because I was going to train more than once a day. Honestly, at least in my case, I started overdoing carbohydrates, and that's the first mistake I want to talk about because we're told that the model that works whenever you're spending that amount of energy is calories in, calories out. We normally start replacing proteins and fats with carbohydrates because those are the preferred energy source for the body. And within carbohydrates, we choose simple carbs because they're easier to absorb and they are basically already turned into energy. So our bodies only have to use them as they need it. And that's the model we follow. So if we're burning like 3,000 or 2,000 calories per day just in training, then we need to add on top of that somewhere around 2,500 calories because that's what we need just to function. And that means that we need to be eating all day. So I was snacking between every meal. I was having huge carbohydrate amounts during the day, during my 3 meals, and also within my snacks. I started fueling every workout as if I was racing because I was supposed to get my stomach and body used to the amount of carbohydrates I would need to take on race day. I inhibit my body's ability to actually feel sensitive around carbohydrates and get that extra boost that the fuel from carbs is gonna give me whenever I actually need to perform at the best of my ability. I just overdid carbohydrates to a level that I don't really believe I needed to. And by that, maybe I didn't know it at that time, but I was kind of stuck in terms of performance because I wasn't really using nutrition as a weapon. I was just using it as a day-to-day tool just to get through the days, wake up the next day and do it all over again. And whenever I was racing, I was doing the same. So an example of that is just using like the typical bowl of pasta every night. I don't think that's something that is healthy in the long term. I feel that I was unhealthy in several ways. I was maybe not feeling the effect as an older person would, but I was actually feeling some stress in my stomach. I just got used to it, as we normally do with things that we don't like. I basically never learned that our bodies by themselves can provide a lot of energy that we have stored. Every lean person has around 40,000 calories that we can access to if we teach our bodies how to do it. So by overdoing carbohydrates, we actually limit our body's ability to burn fat. And that is actually the second mistake I'm gonna talk about because it's a consequence of the first one. By overdoing carbs, we limit the ability that our bodies naturally have to burn fat and to go through certain activities during the day without eating. So we're scheduled basically to eat breakfast in the morning, lunch at noon, and then dinner at night. We're actually constantly racing insulin because every time we eat carbohydrate-rich meals, we are racing insulin. Whatever energy we're not using, our bodies are gonna store it as fat primarily. By limiting our body's ability to burn fat and go through those fat reserves that they naturally have, we're limiting its ability to run through its own energy and we're missing out on nearly 40,000 calories that we can actually take advantage of. And then on top of that, actually adding some carbohydrates that we need whenever we're really pushing ourselves. I realize that I like a lot more where I am at the moment, and part of that is because I'm actually, and I've proven this to myself, I'm actually burning fat as my primary fuel, because either way 80% to 90% of my training is done at a very manageable intensity, and whatever I'm doing above that intensity, I'm making sure I fuel with the right carbs at the right time. So just to give you guys an example, I was talking about the pasta before, or the bread before working out. Nowadays what I do is I don't actually limit carbs, so I wouldn't consider that I do a low carb diet, but what I actually do and put my efforts on is choosing wisely whatever type of carbs I'm having during the day. So I'm basically having carbs whenever I sit down and have a meal, but I'm choosing the right type, or at least the type that I feel makes me feel the best. I'm trying to cook one ingredient foods that I can absolutely control the nutrients they have, and whenever they don't have nutrients, at least I know that I'm using that for a certain purpose. Let's say like bread, I don't have white regular bread, so I choose a type of bread that is sprouted, that is made with the whole wheat berry. I've actually proven to myself that it reduces inflammation in my body. So even though I still have and eat bread and actually enjoy it whenever I have it, I choose a type of bread that I'm going to buy in the supermarket. So that is basically where my mind is at in terms of choosing the right carbs, just to let my body run through its own and natural fuel. And on top of that, whenever I'm not managing the effort comfortably, I take carbs that can help me get through the effort and actually perform at the level I want to perform on those certain workouts. And the final mistake, since I was basically focused on just counting carbs, making sure I'm having enough of them, I forgot about hydration. And nowadays I believe that hydration is such an important component of my daily nutrition. I take hydration products whenever I know that I'm exceeding my body's ability to keep hydrated. And I also live in Miami, which is a very warm city all year round, and I make sure that whenever I'm putting myself in a position where I know I'm going to get dehydrated, I make sure I take the right amount of electrolytes depending on the length of the workout and also the intensity. But that is something that I believe is very personal, but I try to target at least 300 milligrams of sodium per workout, and whenever I'm racing, I try to raise that to over 1,000 or even 1,500 milligrams of sodium per hour. In the next video, I'm going to share with you how I've managed to correct those 3 mistakes, and I'm going to show you my daily practices just to not fall behind again. And this all means that whatever I'm doing by correcting this is what makes me feel better today. I believe that we can discover a lot of things that we probably misunderstood before, although that we were never told. My body is more capable of doing things than I sometimes believe. That is why I have some different practices from probably a lot of people, and I'm very excited to share this with you. If you guys find any value in these videos, I would ask you to subscribe to the channel and share this with people that might find value as well. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.